Class is now in session.
Part 2 of a conscious mind, and I'm going to go ahead and begin with going over tactics, techniques, different ways that the rulers of the world try and majority of the time succeed in keeping the masses' minds, so yours, mine, everybody else, keeping that separation and imbalance, unstable. And it all starts before we're even born. They control what our grandparents and our parents consume, and then that controls what we consume. And I'm speaking on a bigger picture level, not just the physical food that we eat today. So for instance, like this picture, it says mental health. Mental, that word itself just means imbalance, unstable for your mind. So mental health is just like contradictory to at least what the masses would believe this means. But before we're even born, our mothers are fed with information like this. Fear. They're instilled with fear and statistics, numbers that they don't understand, names of complicated births and diseases. But you see, they have this idea stuck in their mind that they have to go to professionals and get their advice and have their strength. Because when you're pregnant, like your hormones are off the wall, that you're stuck in that feminine side, the right side of your mind, and you're missing that masculine side. And for those who were married or have boyfriends, during these very crucial points in time, moments in time when they need them the most, they're at work. They're making money with the belief that they need that money to provide for their family so that they can live, but that's not how it's supposed to work. But they aren't there to play their role and be that strength, that masculine left side of the brain that a pregnant woman is going to need at that point. And so she becomes vulnerable. She is an easy target, the easiest target for mind control, really, and for others to plant seeds in her mind to rule over the seed that her husband or boyfriend or whomever planted elsewhere. And then there's the cases where they might have had the bad luck of having an asshole who just up and leaves, disappears, and then they're left completely vulnerable, 100%. And females are not a good choice for comfort at this time. Like that masculine left side is very important for balance and strength. For those of you who are male, of the male species, imagine you and your significant other are going to have a child. But what would you do if you found out that child wasn't yours, or if your significant other was planting seeds with someone else, or somebody else was planting seeds than your significant other. It's the same exact thing with the frickin' mind. Is it worth it to go and make that money that you might not even end up needing because somebody else is planting seeds in the mind of your significant other that you're possibly about to have a child with? And then if that's not the case, what about the future? Like, is it worth it to go and make that money just to pay somebody else to raise your child? The government, the public school system, the healthcare system? Maybe you'll say, no, my wife's doing that. Well, yeah, maybe, but who's the other player? Who's her significant other? Who's the masculine left side of the brain helping grow, making sure that seed grows, or, in this case, the public system, it's going to kill it. And I know this isn't always the exact case, but I'm speaking on terms that relate to my topic of discussion. I know sometimes it's the women who go to work and the men stay at home. But either way, are you really going to let somebody else raise your child with your significant other? And in some cases, it's somebody else raising your child without your significant other because you're both working. Now, with that in mind, take a moment to meditate on what the message is in this picture, like what the words are saying. And there's no reason to find offense if you aren't the one who raised your child, right? And plus, it's the snowflake generation, the millennial generation, who are the ones that find offense. Isn't that the way that the world portrays it, right? Like it's one of the main issues at hand today, or one of the wars that's going on, is the labeling and the attacks on the wrong people is all it is. And this isn't a target to any specific group of people or any specific person in general. It's to get people to open their eyes, clean out their fucking ears, and take advantage of the moment while you still have it. There is such thing as forgiveness. Like, right your wrongs, right? And come to the realization of who the real enemy is at hand. The ones who have been controlling this shithole for the whole time. The ones who are creating these wars. Both in the physical world and spiritually. On our minds, in our minds. They planted that seed. The Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. Okay, people? Just work with me here, okay? Like, I know it's probably hard for many people to use your imagination because that's what a child does. But over the years, that characteristic, that trait is taken away and killed. We no longer have imaginary friends because, well, that's what they call it. ADHD and all that nonsense. But anyway, Jesus spoke in parables. The rulers of this world speak with symbolism and with distorted media in our eyes. Like, open your freaking eyes. Like, look at the possibilities, the bigger picture. It's not me the one who friggin' started this mess, so you can't be mad at me. I'm trying to help you. I kind of have this duty here when got a bunch of maniacs going around acting like selfish idiots, promoting self-image and whatever. There's a difference between getting to know yourself and learning like your role for yourself to be saved, but you don't focus on yourself. You should help others. You don't just drop the rest of the world. If you're going to do that, then you may as well just keep your whole fucking mouth shut and stop promoting anything. Focus on yourself. Go hide in a corner and focus on yourself if that's what you want to do. Stop spreading such a selfish disease to the world. Woo, rant. How about I get back to this message? Yeah, how about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Meditate on it. Who has caused a majority of these problems in the world, or who has played their role in it? We all have, in a way. But how can we help the better good? What duties do we have? If you truly want to say you're a truther, and if you are a good person, I don't like that word person, but some people refer to themselves as that. I'll say soul or spirit. If you want to believe that you are, then prove it. How are you going to prove this? Because this world's pretty fucked up right now, and it's hard to get a lot of different people's trust all around. And what people think of you, like what they portray after, that's not what matters. What matters is your action, your behavior. Just knowing that, somebody might not be grateful or thankful for your help, but yet you still help them. Like, what do you broadcast to the world? Are you leading by example? It's what matters is love. You shouldn't be doing this stuff for selfish reasons. And if you can't fool anybody here on earth, do you really think that you'll be able to fool God Himself and Jesus Christ? I think not. And just always remember, there's many who will speak of the devil and speak of Satan and say God, but very few will admit to Jesus Christ being their Savior. And we can't please everybody in this world because there's too many who are stuck in the material world, the material perception view of it. Nobody wants to understand, but that's not what matters. What matters is not what they think about you, because they're stuck in la la land. Just continue to love and do what's good and right, what you know in your heart is the way that you need to go. Who cares what they think? Don't get caught up in their worldly labels and false assumptions about you, distractions. Just continue. Keep sharing the truth. Keep spreading love. Do what's good. Go. Continue. And aren't you all a bunch of lucky viewers who get to witness my dual dominance in action? Vision and order. trying to find a balance between them. Oh, the joys. And it's actually something that can be witnessed in most of my longer YouTube videos. It's kind of why I try to stick with the shorter ones. They're more my thing. But I guess we've all gotta face our demons at some point in life, right? So, it's good for you. They just poison us. So, whether that be through the public schooling education system or the healthcare system, hospitals, doctors, religion's another big one, because there's a reason we have freedom of religion and not freedom of spirituality. Because religion is something that is a corporation and it's controlled by the state. So if you have a church established, like with a corporated name and all that tax exempt nonsense, the state controls that church, that religion, and they limit on what, like, the church is allowed to speak of, what they're allowed to teach. So everything is related, majority, to this physical world. Nothing, very little is related to spiritual matter. And yes, it does, like, at some points, but the physical world is, material world is what rules, like what is their dominant factor in teaching. I do find that funny because, like, in the political world, a lot of the issues or arguments or whatever that are brought up, you know, everyone whines, keep the church and state separate. Because, like, here in Utah, the LDS church has a very large impact, rules, say, over our state laws or rules, regulations, codes, whatever the hell. But, so for instance, like, one of the biggest ones is alcohol and liquor. Like, here in Utah, our liquor rules and regulations are totally different than other states, where it can be sold, the percentage, restaurants, like the way restaurants work, they have to have, like, there's a curtain law of some sort, you know. But yet at the bar, they make the bartenders mix the drink in front of you, so that people don't have to fear that somebody might, you know, put something in their drink. It's just, you know, so people, they argue this claim, keep the church and state separate. So you have the non-religious people saying that. They don't even know what they're saying. Because the church is you. You're living being, your living self, you know? The state is your legal identity. And then you got the religious people saying keep the church and state separate. Well, which role are you going to play in there? Because it's kind of a hypocrite move. Like, you're right. Yes, keep church and state separate by all means. But do you even know what that means? Because you're more likely lost in this physical material world, and you're going to be borderlining it, or you're going to choose the state side. You're going to continue with your false identity, your legal identity, your legal name, with the, your state ID with your picture on it. So all these people are saying keep the church and state separate. And they don't even know what they're arguing about, what they're fighting for. And the people who rule the world, who run the world, this fake ass world anyway, they know this stuff already. That's why they put it out there, because they feed off of this energy. They feed off everybody's energy. They're killing us all. And mass confusion, imbalance, and separation. And they laugh because all these people sound like fools and idiots because they think they know it all. And they don't even know what they're fighting for when they say keep the church and state separate. How pathetic is that? And the elite, the rulers, they're the ones who freaking throw these ideas out there. Duh. They control the media. And the media is what pushes trends. Because that's how majority of the people in this world is able to be reached. A message is sent to them through the freaking media. And yeah, by the way, so another way they keep that imbalance and separation is through the media. Be it music, television shows, commercials, movies, news. But they push this shit. They don't want your blood on their hands, so they put you in the position where you have your own blood on your hands, as well as your family's blood on your hands, and friends, and everybody around you. And why people cannot understand that, cannot see this, even though Jesus tells you this in the Bible, for you religious people, like, it's baffling.